right now, I'm not even upset anymore. I'm past that stage right now. Like this season, we continue to find lower and lower depths right now. And this performance today against Brighton, I mean, it's not often I normally say this, but we were absolutely outclassed, outthought, and outthought. We were completely done out against a Brighton team that's on a completely different level to us right now. And this is a team that's been built on finding the right roles and profiles and players to suit a philosophy and vision the club have. Whereas with us, on the other hand, we are a collection of incredible ingredients and talents, but we aren't a meal. There's nothing combining anything that we do. There's absolutely nothing, and we got absolutely shown up. You're looking at the team right now, everyone's clueless. I mean, what was the game plan today, really? The game plan today was about feeding off scraps and hopefully doing something with those scraps. Because in terms of like a pressing strategy, in terms of maybe funneling Brighton, this side, that side, it wasn't there. You know, the 4-4-2, pressing structure too. I mean, it's so easy for Brighton to evade it. Like, you know what they kept doing the whole game? The whole game, yeah? Matoma was dropping a bit deeper. Maybe Solly marching on the side, dropping a bit deeper. Playing quick balls to find these guys in big space. But they're able to go 1v1 against our fullbacks. And time again, that same move. A very similar move that we saw Real Madrid doing against us just a few days ago was regularly getting past us and causing danger. Against Madrid, we have no hope. Because I'm thinking to myself, Brighton today, they absolutely killed us. They absolutely dominated us to a fashion that I've rarely seen at home in God knows how long. Like over 65% possession, the amount of times they hit the post, the amount of shots outside the box, like wow. Like, as I keep saying, yeah, there's a reason why teams these days are encouraged now to shoot outside the box, because not only do we afford them tons of space to even have the ability to take these shots, but they know that Kepa Rifa Balaguer, you're always going to have a moment to score. Yeah, and that goal that Cisco scored, incredible technique for that long shot. Easily cleared Kepa. And you just think to yourself, it's the same old thing we're seeing, the same old mistakes, the same old goals we're conceding, the same old lack of control, and the lack of nothing. The lack of identity, lack of belief right now. Because I saw a team today that had no belief, not going to lie. And I don't really blame these guys. Even though these guys take some responsibility at the same time. Most of these guys have been signed here because they thought they were joining this fabled project and plan that we're seeing no signs of this season. And I guess that's the most frustrating thing for me, because this year, nothing will be learned from this year. There's nothing to carry from this season to the next season. From next season onwards with a new manager, more players coming in. But back to square one again. So this team's going to take even longer getting to like certain heights up that we all have expectations and hope for. It's not going to be happening for a very long time. And until we find a way to play, nothing's going to happen. Because I'm not going to lie, listen, we don't have a striker. And this was even more evident in the second half when Lampard brought in substitutions just to give minutes for the sake of it. These weren't subs to change the game in our favour. This game is over and done with. Our priority is on Real Madrid. Go out there and do something, and do anything or do nothing, which most of these guys did. But there was no real focal point. There was no real ways to create up front. Today we were relying upon the brilliance of Mudryk. And actually, you know what? Brilliance is a very, very, very strong word, because he wasn't brilliant. I didn't mean to say that. But he was our most dangerous player. And obviously for the first goal we scored, that came from finding Mudryk on that left-hand side in space, where this guy is one of the fastest players in Europe. Like, if you have certain players with certain profiles and certain attributes, how are we not using his pace in the way we're playing fundamentally? That's the thing I'm saying. Like, using Felix on the left-hand side and Mudryk on the left-hand side is two completely different profiles. So then you start thinking to yourself, okay, so how do you build and form an attacking strategy around this? Who do you focus on? If you use Felix, you have to give this guy freedom, and you have to accept he won't do any pressing off the ball, and you have to accommodate him. So if you're not playing super possession football, you're a bit screwed. But with Mudryk, this guy can enter the box very quickly. He can carry the ball. We're seeing him taking shots outside the box. The one he took near the end of the game, that was nice technique from like 35 yards. That wasn't too bad. He has that type of threat. And it's like, until we focus on the profiles we want to use in our attack is a complete waste of time. I mean, Real Madrid's, when they have their fast wingers, are there for a reason to get them playing football. I mean, look at Brighton, 2 inverted wingers that cut inside. I mean, Matoma today, my lord, what a performance, what a player. And like, he gave me this similar feeling of when I used to see Mahrez playing for Leicester City, playing against us, just like showing those signs that he's just a class above the level he's currently at. Like, this guy's going right to the top. And you know, if the system we're using against Brighton and Real Madrid is allowing so much space for top wingers like Vinny and Matoma to be 1v1 against their man, it's giving me no hope that we can do anything, not only against Real Madrid now, but throughout the entirety of the season, because that is just really poor. That is really poor. And we were constantly getting undone by runs behind against Real Madrid, and today we were constantly getting undone by the brilliance out wide from Brighton. And you're not seeing any improvements, no differences. Even the lineup today, yeah, I understand, you know, we had to rotate, we had to prepare certain guys for Real Madrid. But then you think to yourself, you're looking at your Pulisic and other guys playing, even though it's not really their fault, we've signed players like Mudryk and others who I thought were the future. So why are they not even getting minutes right now? And it goes back to what I'm saying about there's nothing that we've learned this season that we can take forward to next season other than L after mistake after mistake. Like, I just want the season to be over. I just don't have any feeling, any excitement, any hope for these games anymore now. And you know what? Lampard hasn't been doing a great job so far. I think that's very apparent. That's 4K. I understand some of the reasoning behind maybe making things a bit more defensively solid, play more on the counter-attack. But I mean, in terms of, you know, finding a way to get these guys playing, I don't think there's any time to do so. And I think it's not helping that Lampard himself is falling victim to what every manager who has been our manager this season has also fallen victim to. And that's constant squad rotations. So these guys that are playing, they're playing different. There's 3 different ways we played since Lampard's come now. You know, 3 different lineups, 3 different formations. I mean, it tells you that, for me, no manager, even if Nagelsmann and Enrique came right now, they ain't fixing things at all. Because, you know, I'm still going to think the strategy of signing and changing so much at the club in the space of 1 season is just an impossible way to also find ways to also be successful in the season. Now, these 2 things don't combine. We should have slowed it down a little bit, or what we should have done, sign guys and pre-contracts for the summer. Because why did Mudryk and Fofana have to be here now? Realistic, they could be playing first team football and they're coming back better players in pre-season. So that's what I mean by the lack of planning and structure. And this is why I think rightfully we got shown up and destroyed today by Brighton, a team that are doing things properly the right way, that have a culture they're trying to build. And I mean, the way they played today, this was a high-level European class team. Like, Brighton could be playing Europa League quite easily. They could have a decent group stage run. Like, this is a proper team, and for us to even get halfway there, man, wow, that is the real challenge. And when I think about these things, I get nervous thinking, okay, are these guys going to get the next appointment right? Because all these guys we're talking to have their own different ideas. Like Amorim, possession back 3, obviously Enrique, 4-3-3 vertical style, of course Nagelsmann. Any style, you never know what this guy's going to be doing at all. But relying upon one of these guys makes sense with the talent mess that we currently possess. And that's a lot of faith you're giving. If they get things wrong, we could be recreating the same mistakes we saw under the previous regime. So yeah, I'm still, yeah, I need to see what happens this summer. But I'm feeling a bit nervous, I can't lie. I mean, I really haven't seen a team in a long time. Like, we've lost a lot of games this season, but to be like really outclassed and just outcompeted today, it's definitely worrying signs. And, you know, I'm not really getting the impression that Lampard himself really knows what he has to do right now. And against Madrid, if this is how we're going to play, I think we're wasting everyone's time right now. So if there was one thing I'd say to Lampard is, for God's sake, at least if you're not even going to have the job once your spell ends here, at least take advantage, at least try and create a little foundation for someone in the future, at least stick upon like a reliable lineup of like the future of the football club, at least, man. I mean, we have nothing else to lose at this point in time. And I'd probably say, let's at least play to win, let's attack. Like, we're going to concede goals regardless. Our defensive record means nothing compared to the lack of goals we're scoring. Like, we have these options here, but you're telling me without a striker, we can't find like a smart way to play. We can't rely upon certain strengths we have in the team. Like, we have tons of attacking mids that aren't able to attack or do anything. I know the game has been simplified. Wesley Fofana said this himself in a recent interview, but I think if it's being simplified, if you're bringing it back to basics, I think also bring the mentality back to basics, and you want make these guys feel confident right now, because the team don't look confident. I mean, the amount of turnovers we're giving away, the lack of effort we've seen in players closing people down, lack of ideas in the final third with certain runs being made, no understanding, no nothing. Like the only thing that saves you time in this game is wins. Because with every loss comes more pressure and more lack of confidence. And I think right now, to pick up 3 losses on the bounce, and Madrid's coming up on Tuesday, realistically, I think the season's over. And then the conversation for how the season ends it's a completely different thing right now. Because what do we do with the rest of this season? I mean, if we keep this up, we still can't get past 40 points. Who knows what this season could look like once we come into the end. So right now, it's a very dire situation. Who would have thought this? But again, I've been absolutely humbled this season. I've learned so much. And yeah, it was like a real reality wake-up call. If you kind of spend your way to success, I think you're going to be a team, man. So you guys, I'm going to keep things moving. Thank you for watching. Share your thoughts and opinions below. I'm in EFC. This is BlueLionsTV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.